Welcome to the College Delight for Life. It's about life, where we share our experience, strength, and hope to help others so they have a better understanding. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. I'm Sarah Wilkinson. I'm based in the UK in the northeast of England, and I run my own business called Computer Assistance, where I provide IT support for small businesses and IT training. I don't really know what to share about my childhood. I'm a middle child of 3, and parents were both teachers, full-time teachers, worked really hard, just had a pretty normal childhood, I think.
Was there anything you experienced in childhood that was challenging that you had to overcome?
Not that I can really think of. I suppose I wasn't very confident as a child, and I don't know, maybe being the middle child, you kind of not the young one and not the eldest, but nothing really that jumps out at me, to be honest. My parents just involved all 3 of us in, whatever we wanted to do. We did a lot of activities. We did, piano lessons, and from a young age, and anything we were interested in, really, we just took part in, and got on well with my sisters, and close to grandparents. So don't really know what else to share, to be honest.
Okay. Say, like as a teenager, how did you feel about things when you were a teenager? Was it challenging? Did you overcome anything in your teenage years as far as that's concerned? Was there anything that was really challenging for you that you want to share with the audience? Think back, maybe with another family member or something like that, because everything has an impact on our lives, from different angles. So go ahead.
Probably the only thing I can think of is I am quite a competitive person, and again, I don't know whether that's because I'm a middle child, but so yeah, I did always want to do my best and work hard at everything, so if my sisters were doing something, I suppose I wanted to do better at it, and if I didn't, then it was difficult. But there's nothing that really jumps out at me, to be honest. No, just a regular person, really. I'm sorry, I'm just really boring.
In that, how things go, say, like into after you got out of high school, or you graduated from, I call high school where we're at. I'm in Washington State, here in the States, so just to
we actually called it high school too. That's funny, because I know now they don't call it high school, it's secondary school, but ours was a high school as well. Yeah. So yeah, after that, I went to sixth form college, got a really nice group of friends. We all used to hang around together, just did my A-levels, and then went on to university. Again, I can't really think of anything that was particularly challenging. Again,
Was there any challenging subjects in college that were for you? You said you were really competitive, and as far as that was concerned, was there anything you could think of that in college was extremely frustrating for you? Did you find anything very frustrating, or did you just ace everything?
No, I had to work hard. I didn't find anything easy, but I'm sort of very maths orientated. So I did sort of further maths and physics at A level. We did have to take actually a general studies, and I was useless at that. It was, just general knowledge, and no, I was like, we had to take it, but that was frustrating. I think mainly because I was never really interested in the news, and so I didn't really know the questions, what was going on. So that was the only thing really. But no, I just nothing that I can really think of.
Okay. Looking at your life from college to, say, Are you married now and stuff like that? Do you have
Yeah.
children?
No, no children. No.
Okay. Maybe you can talk about how you met your husband and how that went, and that a lot of people like to understand, and how that's going for you, if you're willing to share that.
Yeah, sure. We met at a university from through the running club, really. I was actually going out with his best friend when we met. And then when we left university, the guy I was seeing lived like quite a long way from me, and we ended up splitting up, and I ended up going out with my husband, and yeah, and we basically saw a lot of each other, and just got to know each other, and it just progressed from there. And but we were together for about 10 years before we got married. I think he didn't really believe in marriage because his mum and dad split up when he was young, and I did believe in marriage. But yeah, so we got married after 10 years, and we've been married for 21 years now. So yeah, and yeah, just have a good life together. We do a lot together. I know a lot of couples, especially where we live here, they do tend to do separate things. So they'll do their own things with their own friends, but we have a lot of joint friends. We have a lot of joint hobbies and get on really well together. So we do a lot of our sport, really. It was running and now it's cycling. So we do a lot of cycling together and activity kind of holidays when it isn't a lockdown, of course. So yeah, I mean, again, not really much to share. I feel really, really blessed, to be honest, with the life I've had, and I do try and look on the good side of things, and especially with the lockdown, I think I have been really lucky because I don't have children. I've had to homeschool and kept in touch with people, and my husband's still been working. He works for the NHS, and I've been working because I work from home anyway. So the only thing is just missing socializing and being with others. But really, yeah, I feel very, very lucky, to be honest. I think the only thing was my husband had an illness at the beginning of lockdown. He got blood clots on his lungs. They thought it was COVID related, but they're just not sure because he had no antibodies and he had no symptoms at all. So yeah, that was a bit scary because both of us have always been so fit, and just to have something like that. But that's the only, and yeah, the only other sad thing that happened, my dad died, but that's been quite a few years now. He had quite a lot of illnesses, and yeah, he died when he was 71. But my mum's still here. That's good.
Got a good relationship with your mom?
Yeah, really good. I mean, she lives a fair way from here, so unfortunately, haven't been able to see her in lockdown. But I've got two other sisters, so they live fairly close to her. So I've seen her on Zoom like everyone else. But yeah, I'm looking forward to when we can meet up again.
Um, you run a business and stuff like that. Why don't you tell me how you started your business, and why you started your business and how the ball got rolling and how you gained traction and stuff like that. Maybe for the first year, or and start with that, so people can understand, why you started your business, how it got going, and where you're at today with it. Go ahead.
Sure, yeah. Well, I took my athletics really seriously, and I ran for the country, which culminated in me going to the Commonwealth Games in '98. And really, I wanted something that was quite flexible with work so that I could have time off to train and travel with my running, but still earn some money, because you don't really get any money in what I do. So yeah, my husband was really supportive, and my mum gave me the idea of maybe starting my own business doing IT support. So I just started that up, and took probably 18 months really to earn a proper wage. But my husband was earning enough to support us, and with money that I got, a little bit of money from running, we just sort of made do. And both of us actually have that sort of idea that, our social and our time for training and keeping fit is more important than, earning a lot of money. And so both of us have always gone down that route, that we need enough money to live, but we like to spend the time we can doing what we enjoy doing. So nice, work-life balance. And that's what I was after, really. So I took a couple of years where I was a full-time athlete, not doing a lot of work, and then just built up the business from that. So I did get injured after the Commonwealth Games. I broke my fibula, and I did manage to get back fit, and I tried for the Olympics in 2000, and unfortunately didn't quite make it. I missed out on the 5 and the 10,000 by just a couple of seconds, so that was really disappointing. But I went to the World Half Marathon and I came 19th, so I got a bit of funding for that. So that was really good. And then really I just started building my business up. We then ended up moving to the Northeast because we both got a new coach up here, and who I'd met at the World Half Marathon, and he wanted us to move rather than coaching from a distance. So we looked around for houses and came up once a month to train with him until we found somewhere. And then, so I had to start my business again, really, up here. But again, my husband's just really supportive and never sort of complained. So, and it's just through word of mouth, really, that I got more and more business. And, I've done lots of different things, to be honest. It's funny how it works out with life. You meet people, and I ended up helping a lady who was starting her business. I helped her with her IT, but then she needed other help in the office. So I'd just go and kind of muck in a bit and help her start her business up. And there's been a few businesses like that where I've gone in and I've started off doing the IT and then ended up doing lots of other things just to help out, really.
I can see how your business, you use it just to sound like, if I get this right, just let me know. It sounds like you use it to supplement your life, and that for me, money for me is the same issue. As long as I have enough to have a comfortable life and have my health care needs met, I'm very happy about that, because money doesn't always equal happiness. And as far as that is concerned. And looking at your life now, what sort of dreams, goals, possibilities, options, and action are you taking right now to be able to move your life forward into, what kind of direction do you want to see your life go?
Well, I joined, especially during lockdown, because even though I do work on my own and work from home, it's still nice to have people who are in a similar situation. So I joined a small business club, which does give a lot of support and help in that way. So that was really good. And that's helped me look at the building blocks of my business and look at where I don't really reflect a lot on my life, to be honest. And it's helped me just sort of look back and look forward. But to be honest, I think both of us now are just looking forward to retirement and just trying to make sure we've got enough money to retire and do what we want. So I think Neil's idea, he wants to retire probably at 55, but probably more like 60, which isn't really that far away. And so we're just sort of looking for that goal, hopefully both still being fit so we can still cycle, spend more time cycling and, traveling a little bit if we're allowed to. But I think that's probably our goals now, just trying to make sure we're happy in retirement.
If you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I'm just trying to work it out. I'm 51.
I'm 55, so we're both in the same age bracket as far as I'm concerned. So I'm actually retired myself. I retired at the age of 51. So I was a corrections officer in a men's prison for 30 years and retired as a lieutenant. So it was kind of a different kind. I have a
Mhm.
different life now, and a lot better. Lost a lot of weight. Used to be extremely morbidly obese.
Right.
Just I lost 360 pounds.
Wow. It really interests me actually. It's maybe something I would consider going into helping people with sort of health and fitness and weight. I am really interested in diet and yeah, I do a lot of reading on it and yeah. So well done you though. That's good.
Well, I don't call things diets because the first three letters in
Like
diet is die. And I
yeah.
like to call them plans of eating because to me it's a lifelong plan that shifts and changes with time
Mhm.
for my needs. And I have an eating disorder, but the one thing is for me, I don't think much about it. I don't think about my weight or numbers. I actually threw out my scale. I
Best
because
thing to do.
that I just get weighed at the doctor and I deal with some health issues, but I don't let those stop me. But the thing is, it's God and what goes on upstairs is extremely important that
Mhm.
makes a difference. And it was 15 years ago that I overcame that, and
Well,
I'm 55, so
yeah.
I've had 8 years. It took me a long time to lose it, but
Mhm.
slower is better,
That, yeah.
and there's some things I I use the diabetic exchange system just to kind of fill you in. I have no refined sugars, no white flours. I try to eat organic produce, grass-fed beef and pork and chicken, and I think you're getting the drift here. I don't eat out hardly at all either because I find the food out there is not healthy for you. It's just full of garbage. I call it
Yeah.
garbage food. Unless you
Mhm.
go to a nice restaurant, that's once a month. I'd rather go out once a month. If you to give you an understanding of somebody with difficulties in that area comes from, I go out once a month with a nice restaurant to a friend, and that way I get to enjoy a good experience
Yeah.
instead of just trying to feed my face, whatever.
Mhm.
So you know you said you didn't have a lot of self confidence growing up. Have you been able to overcome that self confidence issue in what you're doing, or has
Mhm.
that hung on at all as far as that's concerned?
Um, I think I've sort of got some strategies that kind of help me, but no, I don't think I'm very confident. It's funny because I think it comes through that I'm not confident, but yet, yeah, I mentioned it to a friend whose daughter was about to go to university, and she said, "Oh, I'm really worried about it because she's not very confident." And I said, "Oh, well, I'm not, and this is how I feel." And she said, "You're joking. I would never ever have thought that." And I was thinking, I just think it comes through, but no, I am a nervous kind of person, but I think my athletics has probably helped me because when you're racing, you've got to channel those nerves. And I was always very, very nervous beforehand, but on the start line, I just forget it. So I think that's really helped me. Yeah, I think sport has been very helpful to me. But yeah, I mean, things like I play the piano, but I don't really like playing in front of people. I'm always thinking about, oh, it won't be perfect. But I think now as I'm getting older, you kind of think, you know, I work with someone who's always talking about progress, not perfection. And I think that's something that's really good to think about. And people, I always think people are being would be critical of me, but really, when you get older, you think, they're not really, people aren't critical there. And, you have to think about how you feel. And I don't feel like I'm that critical of others. So why would they be really critical of me? But yeah, that's something I always felt. Maybe I wasn't good enough or, something would go wrong. I wouldn't be perfect. So yeah.
Sounds like you have a little bit of worry work going on there.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, what are some of the strategies that you've used to work with that to deal with your self confidence and sometimes being scared with your piano playing and stuff like that? Can you express some strategies that you use to help yourself?
I think just trying to be as prepared as you can. and just trying to just think to be relaxed and just think that people aren't out to get you, really. Sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes I'm just thinking beforehand that how it's going to be, but actually when I get into that position, it's absolutely fine, and I'm fine once I'm starting to do something. I think it's just beforehand, sort of the night before I'm doing something, I find it difficult to sleep, but I just try and relax and just try and empty my mind out, make lists, and just try to be prepared as much as I can.
Do you do anything like meditation or journaling or self-talk or any of those kind of recovery things to help yourself at all?
No, not at all. I do Pilates, a bit of yoga, but not really meditation.
Well, I like to look at meditation as I just clear my thoughts out and empty my brain, because I find brains can become like squirrel cages. You get in the treadmill and it's hard to get off. And what you have to do is stop and step off the treadmill. I think you're understanding what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
because do you feel like you've ever been caught in a rut before, as far as anything you've had to do, or where you're at now?
I think because I'm really bad at reflecting, I don't really think about being in a rut. And opportunities always just seem to come up, and my work is so varied and what I do. I enjoy the social side of the activities I do with other people, were, members of clubs. And so I don't really feel like I'm in a rut now. But maybe if I did properly think about it, I probably am.
Can you give me 3 takeaways you'd like to give the audience, as far as, maybe ways they can help themselves, or, things that you found that worked, and to summarize, some of what we've talked about?
Yeah. 3 things. So I would say just try and be positive. I always try and be positive, and there's always people who are worse off no matter what situation you're in. And that's not kind of dwelling on if somebody else is having a bad time, but sometimes you just sort of dwell on things that don't really matter that much. So just trying to be positive, surround yourself with people who are positive and motivators. That's why I really, joined business club, and also the clubs that I'm a member of with sport. I've got, surround yourself with good friends, not necessarily, people who aren't going to bring you down, but, people who will sort of build you up and give you good advice. And probably just listen to yourself. And yeah, thinking of another thing. I don't know. I just think being positive and looking at the positive side really, really helps me. Yeah.
Well, thank you for being on my podcast and being a guest and sharing your experience, strength, and hope. Thank you for coming to Claire's Delight for Life. It's about life. I hope you enjoyed our podcast as much as I did, and I hope you have a great day. I also want to let you know that we are on the platforms of Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, and Pinterest. And I would gladly check you out and check these out, learn about what we're doing and great things that you can learn. And also check out our website, Declares Delight for Life. It's Declares Delight for Life, DECLUTTERS Delight, DELIGHT, for FOLIFE.com. I know that was a little bit long to spell out, but what I would also love for you to check out and share this information with others, and share them about the podcast, because it has great value, because you can learn about the experience and strength of others, and that experience and strength of others can go within you. And I would also love you to check out our books, Clutter to Declutter, 28 Days to Declutter Your Mind, Declutter Your Mind for Now. And if you think about it, in the next 2 months, we're going to have another book out, The Secrets to Overcoming Depression, Anxiety, and Stress. And I know for a lot of you out there, these are things that you can address. And we have these, and they were done from the heart, from me to you. And over the next couple months, you will see things out also in audio and video with these books. And check it out. I hope these would be of great value, because that's what we want to give you: great value and love, kindness, compassion, and hope and love and truth. Thank you. And I appreciate everything and who you are. And thank you.